Hey everyone, you'll never believe what I'm about to tell you about clickbait. My name is EJ Spurl and welcome to Trigger Warning. Now, I imagine you've seen the headlines. 25 things you never knew about head lice. 14 reasons why you should dump your boyfriend. You'll never believe what this white guy said about candy canes. Clickbait is a term used to describe web content that is aimed at generating online advertising revenue, most notably at the expense of quality, accuracy, and, in many cases, truthfulness. Many sites that rely on this method of generating income tend to be more interested in drawing in clicks than they are in presenting themselves as reputable. Instead, they only tell you that they're reputable. In practice, though, not so much. They tend to rely on sensationalist headlines. They want to tell you what dastardly thing this celebrity did this week, what that author said in private, what somebody else said about a random game developer. They're not beholden to the standards of ethical journalism because their focus is always the bottom line. Ryan Holiday, author of Trust Me, I'm Lying, a book that exposes the secrets of sites like BuzzFeed, Gawker, and the Huffington Post, put it quite plainly. These sites don't profit off of the truth. They profit on keeping you engaged. A good lie always makes more money than 1,000 truths after all. So, ethics? Sorry, they're unlikely to fit into the equation. Accountability? They're entertainment writers. And so long as they provide a product to their consumers, they can do no wrong. But who are their consumers? Is it their readers? Not according to many of these sites. Their consumers are their advertisers, and they're the ones providing their product to the advertisers. But is their product their articles? The stories they spin, whether true or false? No. You're their product. Every time you click on one of their links, it's you that becomes the product, all packaged up neatly and sold to the companies who chose to advertise with them. That's right, it's you. So while there are some out there who craft their stories for the reader's enjoyment, many make no such distinction between the reader and the product. Sites like Gawker, Verge, BuzzFeed, Upworthy, and others have discovered that truth rarely draws people in. So what does then? Outrage. Their stories are crafted to evoke a sense of outrage within their products, because few things keep people clicking more than outrage. Stories like, female game developer harassed by online hate mob, is a headline that's bound to outrage some people. But is it true? Does it matter to them? Take the case of Brad Wardell, CEO of Stardock Entertainment. In 2010, a claim of sexual harassment was made against Wardell. By 2013, the case was dismissed with prejudice by the courts, and the claimant ordered to make a public apology. And yet, before the case had even concluded, writers at both Kotaku and Polygon had already made up their mind on his guilt. They smeared him. They decided arbitrarily that the allegations were true, and that he deserved everything that they could throw at him. Why? Because it made people click. The rage against Wardell made them money. Did it matter that the case had yet to be decided? Nope. Not when there was money to be made. During this period, Wardell received death threats. Threats of rape against his wife and son. His very family's safety was threatened. Even today, despite the courts getting to the bottom of the situation, people still use the allegations as evidence against him, however disproven. Clickbait media is not responsible. There is no accountability. They have no reason to value truthfulness. Ethics in journalism? Not a concern. Ethics in general? They scoff at the concept. So what happened when a large group of people finally had enough and started to loosely organize themselves under a hashtag? They were painted as a hate mob, and their products bought it hook, line, and sinker. It occurs to me that the vast majority of those opposed to the Gamergate movement are defending companies that have, in the past, committed such wrongs as leaking celebrity nudes, stalked and terrorized other celebrities, and even attempted to launch a hate mob against innocent people because someone once made a claim about them that was proven to be false, sometimes before the article was even written. These companies thrive on outrage culture. If people aren't angry, they don't get their clicks. And as many who have studied propaganda and marketing know, angry people talk a lot. They do the advertising for these companies for them. Viral marketing works a lot better when people are angry about something, and that's why sites like Jezebel get so many shares despite the complete lack of accountability and moral fortitude. Because readers read something. If they agree and it makes them enraged, they want to share their outrage. And if they disagree and it makes them enraged, they want to share that as well. The difference being that their audience is much more likely to come back and share more if they agree with the outrage, and the readers will defend said sites to the point where they will literally become their personal army. Enter those among the gaming press who have adopted such measures. Enter Gamergate. The rest is history. For me personally, I would be a little bit more outraged to discover that these sites had been lying to me, using me as their personal army, gaslighting and laughing all the way to the bank on my click currency. But we see their readership doing exactly what these sites want, defending them at all costs to the point where they'll willingly ignore the wrongs that these companies have done in the past. I think it's likely because it's easier to join in arms against a common foe than to believe that they've been duped by a corporate interest that doesn't care about them one bit. These companies are manipulating people on the internet for their own interests. They don't care about feminism. They don't care about what's right or responsible. They care about ad impressions. They care about affiliates and partnerships. They care about revenue, not people. So it's in their best interest to tell their readership, hey, you see these guys over here who are criticizing us? Well, they're misogynists. They hate women. You should go and attack them and play dirty tricks on them. But I don't blame their products. They're the distraction, the expendable casualties. Because some are largely able to see through their bullshit, they're a threat. In my view, their products have been duped, bamboozled, molded into a distraction to take eyes away from the real problem. They may believe fervently that they're doing the right thing, and some of the rhetoric that I've had to deal with is so far over the top that it's maddening, but ultimately I believe that they're pawns. And so I can't bring myself to hate them. I don't at all, really, any more than I could bring myself to hate the person victimized by a scam artist. What I do dislike, however, is the people and constructs that manipulated them into being that way. So thanks for listening today, guys. As always, my name is EJ Spurl, and if you liked today's episode, be sure to subscribe and comment below. And if you're proud of not being someone else's product, drop me a like, you know where the button is. On the other hand, if you're cool with being a product, you know where the dislike button is. Either way, I will catch you next time. The Philae lander detached from the Rosetta spacecraft and landed successfully on the nucleus of the Churyumov-Gerasimenko comet, marking the first time in history